Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today we are in Dover, Delaware, and we have Kim Petters with us.
Hi.
Can I tell you what I love about my gig? I get to hang out with hot chicks all the time. Completely, I used to teach at a shooting school, and I would say I'm the least threatening, most offensive.
I'm not afraid of you. I was in the military for 10 years, so.
I know. She could probably kick my ass.
I have all brothers.
She could probably kick my ass. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying she probably could. Anyway,
I didn't.
Before we start, we are going to put some Lead Slingers hand sanitizer on.
Happy to.
There's a, you can put your coffee here.
Here we go. All right.
And this is, no, you're going to need two hands, girl. This is super watery.
Oh, it is.
I told you.
Oh my gosh.
Super
We're being
watery.
very COVID safe over here.
I know. I do have a sticker on the back of my car that says that this is a COVID-free zone.
It is okay. Good.
So we should be good to go. We shouldn't have any issues.
No COVID here.
Right, there's none.
Zero.
COVID-free zone. All right, we're taking a right out here?
So
let's do this.
All right, let's do this.
So we have so much to talk about. The first thing we're going to talk about is the election that you just ran for.
Oh, yes.
For the, what is this, the Office of the Peace?
It was Clerk of the Peace.
Clerk of the Peace. What is the Clerk of the Peace?
Clerk of the Peace is...
Which is really ironic because you can't even carry a piece. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Well, actually, I can.
You can?
Yes, we'll get into that. And we're going to go right up here.
All right.
So, Clerk of the Peace, you know, someone from the Republican Party had called and said, you know, elections were only 2 months off. And they said, hey, listen, you know, the person who is running has decided they can't for whatever reason. Would you step in? And I thought, well, sure, okay, all right. So
sure, I don't have anything else to do.
So it's a 2-month campaign. I lost, I think, by 5%. It's a county-wide race, which is like a huge district.
Did they use the Dominion machines?
We have all new machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but you know, it's against someone whose family has held that position for the last, 2 decades.
Right.
I knew the odds were against me. I mean, 2 months to start fundraising, and not a lot of time, but it was a great experience. Definitely a learning experience and a warm-up, I would say. But so Clerk of the Peace, it's kind of holds there's two jobs that you really do. One is marrying people and processing marriage license.
Really?
Yes. Yep. Almost like Justice of the Peace. And then the other half is co-signing on county funds, warrants drawn from county funds, and going to all the levy court meetings, so you kind of see everything that happens. And so it would have been nice. I would have liked it. I had a lot of things that I was going to bring to the table, but I mean, 2 months campaign just wasn't going to happen.
Not a lot of time, right?
Plenty of time to learn, quite a bit though.
Yeah. We're going to make a U-turn somewhere, right?
No, we're going to keep going up here.
Okay, you lead the way.
I will.
Right.
But we are going to get in the left lane.
Right. So, it's tough to beat someone that's been there for 20 years. And honestly, I had a job like this. My first teaching job was I was replacing someone that had been in teaching for 20 years, and this person stayed in a position inside the school. And honestly, whoever was going to replace that person was not going to do a good job because everyone was used to the other guy, and he's still around. So yeah, that's tough.
That's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah, I kind of went into it knowing the odds were against me, and I was the underdog. But I don't know. I loved every second of it. I really did.
5% though. That's 5% in 2 months. That's not.
Yeah, that's not too bad. There was a few districts where I just completely crushed the opponent. So
Nice.
in a blue state, running as a Republican. So, but yeah, it was a good experience. And like I said, I think a warm up. I definitely want to run for more. I do a lot of work, volunteering right now, a lot of hours, but I really want to make more of an impact. And I can do that from working inside Leg Hall, maybe sitting next to Rep. Spiegelman, who you're going to meet later.
Right.
So we'll see.
Cool. We take a left on Route 1 North?
Yep.
Right.
Or, yeah, left. Yep.
Right. So very cool. So let's get into the other stuff that you do.
Yep.
You spent 10 years
Yes.
in the Air Force?
Yes, 10 years in the Air Force. I wanted to join the military. So I joined a year following 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those patriotic people that was like, I want to serve my country. And 2, I wanted a chance to go to school, to go to college. And I did. I got 4 degrees while I was in the military.
Wow.
Yeah, I took 1-2 classes at a time and eventually finished.
That's cool.
And but I actually got retired out medically at 10 years. When I deployed, I did like all the human remain missions for our own guys. So any American in the entire AOR, any one of our guys
What's an AOR?
Area of responsibility. So all of Afghanistan at the time, all of Iraq. So any one of our own fallen came through me, where I was in Al Mubarak on the way home. So, and it's not like how people think. It's kind of like the smell of a blast is like, it's like just things stay with you, and so it stayed with me. So I got retired out for PTSD, and I might as well just get into the whole story. So
yeah, let's do it.
When just Shooter's Choice is going to be up here on the right. You'll see it about another block or 2 up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so I got retired out of the military, and when I did, I was that typical veteran that they had, taking an antidepressant, something for anxiety, something for sleep, something to help wake you up.
You take some uppers.
Yes,
to keep you going, takes you down, and all of a sudden,
and I'm like
you're
just
popping more pills than Ozzy Osbourne.
right, and they're addictive.
Yeah.
And I'm watching veterans drop like flies. Right? And I don't want to be one of those veterans. And I'm a mom too. So like I really need to get my stuff together, right? But how am I going to do this? And so I was still just taking all the pills that they were giving me. And I had heard on the internet, veterans on a YouTube actually scrolling through, that veterans were having success with weed, smoking weed. And here's the thing with cannabis. That's the official term. But I, at the time, was very against that, and I just, I actually looked down on anybody who smoked weed.
Sure, because
believe it or not, I did. I was that person, and so I looked down on myself for even considering it.
Wow.
But I was desperate, and the pills were taking a toll. So I was like, okay, and I'm just gonna do this. So I called my brother-in-law in another state because I didn't even know anyone to call and ask to get some weed from. Right? Because we had moved to Delaware right as I got out of the military. We inherited 2 children. My husband and I had 2 children of our own, and my brother and sister-in-law both passed away. Yeah, leukemia in a car accident. And so life was really hard, and I was really just trying to keep everything together.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yes, a lot of stuff going on. So, and this, by the way, should be on the other side where...
So I'm not from the area?
Shooter's Choice is...
I think Shooter's Choice is not around here.
No? Well, that's the one that I went to. Do you want me to put... I told you I hadn't been there yet. Sorry, Shooter's Choice.
That's okay.
Do you want me to put it in my GPS?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yes.
That would be cool. So this is what I'm noticing. Completely off topic with everything else. With the socialization that is
we have plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's just straight.
It's just straight, and then we have to do a U-turn.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going to find out what that is that I thought was that. But go ahead.
I'm noticing this, and I've noticed it for quite a while. Every place you go has the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like you go to a different town, there's going to be a Walmart, a Target, an Applebee's, an Olive Garden.
Yep.
There's going to be a Qdoba. There's going to be...
all those chain restaurants.
Yes. And there's going to be smaller places, like, you know, you get to a certain point and there are no longer Waffle Houses. I saw a sign for a Waffle House as I was on my
Those
way
really
down here.
do seem to be like a dying.
Yes.
Starting route
Here, I'm
to
going to
Shooter's
turn that
Choice.
off.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Head northwest
okay.
on South DuPont.
So that's okay. So who
Okay,
cares?
so yeah, so I get the weed from my brother-in-law, right? And I'm
Right.
feeling like a terrible person for it, and I'm hiding upstairs in my bathroom, like blowing it out the window, like
gosh.
not wanting anyone to know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but I wanted to try it. I wanted to know
Yeah. if this was going to work.
Right. So here's the thing. Immediately, I felt relief. I waited till I was having a terrible anxiety day. Instead of going for that addictive Ativan that was prescribed, I went to the weed that my brother-in-law got for me. And I was like, wow. And I felt great, like the rest of the day. I was not worried about all these other things that were happening in my life or in my brain, or worried about this or that.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of living presently in the moment. I think I went and made dinner and played a game with the kids or something. Everything was completely fine. And so a few months go by. I haven't taken the anxiety medication.
Right.
I haven't taken the sleep medication. I'm feeling good. Everyone's like, wow, Kim, you look great. But I didn't want to tell anyone my secret.
Right. My secret.
My dirty little secret, right? And so the last thing to go is antidepressants. And I was like, you know what? This is amazing. My entire life, I feel healthy. I'm healing. You can't heal when you're numbed out on pills. You know, color was back in my face. I had put on some weight, some healthy, good weight, working out again. Everything was great. And I wanted to go ahead and get a medical marijuana card. But I saw that it was difficult to get one for PTSD in Delaware. And that is what made me come out of the closet. The weed closet is, I was like, okay, well, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to figure out how to, because I'm thinking of all veterans. I'm thinking now, not only do I need access to this, but every veteran who is struggling with PTSD needs access to this stuff, because I'm telling you, it's going to save their lives. And so with a few other people and a handful of veterans, mind you, I didn't know anyone. So to meet people who's going to go stand next to me at Leg Hall and say, hey, yeah, this can help veterans. I literally had to walk into VFWs and be like, hi, my name is Kim Petters. And so I started smoking weed, and it helped me for PTSD. And this is why, which, by the way, the VFW is the most conservative veteran organization there is.
Right. They'd rather stay with the liquid form of dealing with PTSD.
Well, you know what they did? They listened. They didn't say anything. The commander went home that day, did a ton of research, because at the end of the day, veterans are committing suicide at faster rates than we are losing them in combat. So at the end of the day, if what I'm saying is true, they wanted to know. So he went home, this guy, Mark Garduno, super conservative, commander of the VFW. He was actually the state commander last year. He went home and did some research, came back and said, just telling the truth. Next thing I know, we had gathered a whole group of veterans, and the bill was written by Rich Jester. He's a civilian that helped me write a bill, because I didn't know how to write a bill. I'd never done this before.
Right.
And next thing I know, I'm standing in front of our state senate, and I held up I kid you not, I held up a fake bag of weed.
Oh my God.
And a bag of pills, and said...
A bag of kitty litter and pills.
Well, it was grass clippings in a real medicinal marijuana bag.
Wow.
And I held it up, and I said, look, this bag of weed is impossible to overdose from. It's non-addictive, and it gave me my life back. And these pills are killing veterans. 70% of veterans who commit suicide seen at the VA have benzos in their system.
Wow.
Yes. The correlation is, you cannot even deny it. And so anyway, actually the bill actually died that day, but the veterans came back very much stronger, and within 24 hours brought it back to a unanimous vote. Yes, vote. And it went on to pass. Yes, but the point is, I went back, and by putting myself out there and saying, hey, veterans, I need your help, we had the DAV was there supporting, the American Legion, the VFW, every veteran hunters group in Delaware, every single veterans group came out and supported. And the bill eventually passed, and now PTSD is the #2 most common reason that people get a medical marijuana card here in Delaware.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. But then it brought another problem, which is now you lose your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me I'm going to lose my Second Amendment rights for not choosing something that makes me feel loopy or is addictive or is lethal? You know, so that was a whole nother fight.
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
Then that's how SB 79, or was it Senate bill? Oh gosh. Yes, SB 79, right to purchase and possess a firearm while being a Delaware medical marijuana patient was born. And guess what?
Yep. Passed?
Well, it almost did, except for Corona came. But listen, we actually were able to get every single senator unanimous vote yes.
Really?
Yes. Senator Anthony Del Colo was our champion on that. Amazing man. Who you're going to meet, Rep. Spiegelman. He was a co-sponsor. Yes, a unanimous yes to a gun bill in Delaware. And also getting the Republicans to vote yes because, cannabis.
Right.
But it makes sense, though. Why would, mind you, it was a year and a half of work in the making and a lot of meetings and whatnot. No, but you want to talk common sense gun laws. That is common sense. Why are you going to say to someone, if you are following state laws and doctor's orders with a medical marijuana card, you still lose your Second Amendment rights? Why are we going to say cannabis is the only medication in the entire United States that causes you to lose the right to bear arms? That is insane. That's absolutely insane. You can still take OxyContin. You can still take Valium. You can still take Ambien, which, oh, by the way, how many people have had reports of doing things they didn't even realize?
Well, Tiger Woods did.
He did? What? I don't even know this story.
No, Tiger Woods was, hooking up with some chick and saying it was going to be, hey, let's, we'll pop some Ambien and have some wild sex. So.
Oh, well.
There we go.
To each their own. I don't know. Tiger Woods, right. I hope it was worth it, man. I don't know. But anyway, so that bill was awesome. And unfortunately, when it went to the House, it passed the House committee. And next, it had to go to the House floor. But then Corona came and shut down Leg Hall. And guess what? We have to start from ground zero now.
Oh, my God.
Because we have new members of the General Assembly. So all that work, a month away from it passing. And the Governor Carney, don't forget, you agreed you would sign this because it's coming back.
Right, we'll send him a clip.
Yes, I will send him a clip. We have another version of this bill coming, even better version. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how I got involved, and that's how the DC Project found me and said, "Hey, who's this girl?
Who's this Kim Petters chick?
Yeah.
She's dropping gummies like it's going out of style. She's listening to the Grateful Dead."
No, I actually don't. I swear, I listen to mostly country music and Christian music and I don't know, rap too.
Right. La da 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 da.
No. No. Snoop Dogg. No.
Right.
No.
No. Kim's in the hizzy. Oh my goodness.
No, and that's the thing is I showed that I am just the mom next door. Yeah. Check it out. Let me explain something to you.
All right.
If you are a person who thinks not a lot of people use cannabis, you're the person that everyone hides it from. Mark my words. Let me tell you, anytime I go to anything even conservative, so different gun events that I go to, and I can't say which because it will give it away.
Right.
If it's here locally on the East Coast, I drive, right? Why am I going to fly if it's drivable? You drove here. Well, what happens is some of the biggest gun advocates, most known in the entire nation, all had to fly in. And what happens is I get on my door.
Knock on the door and someone says, "Hey, man."
Yeah, nobody knows because I'm an NRA certified, whatever, and the NRA is against it, and I can't have that. Nothing against NRA. I love them, and I'm not going to dog them. I actually, NRA, when I run for something coming up soon, I need and want your endorsement, so please don't ignore me because of this one cannabis issue.
Right.
Okay, but anyways, so these people show up on my door.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, listen, I flew in and nobody knows, and I can't have anyone know because I do what I do. Wow. But I use cannabis. It helps me sleep, or I have anxiety." The next thing I know, my hotel balcony is filled with all these people, all these advocates, like then some of the nation's most top dog advocates, you have no idea, and I will never say who, I never will, even if I'm falling out with those people, I still never would, use cannabis. And I feel like if everybody stood up together who actually uses it, then we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't have all these people who have to choose between medicine or their Second Amendment rights.
Bang or bong.
Right. I mean, come on. How many hunters do you know sit in their tree stand and they got their shotgun and they're loving it, and guess what else? They have a little flask next to them.
Yeah.
Come on. But those same people, I hate to say it, sometimes are the same ones that just won't get behind the rest of us Second Amendment advocates who use cannabis.
Right.
Why are we making us criminals?
This is a good point. So I never partook of this when we thought it was uncool when we were young, and I never did in high school.
I think this is our U-turn. It is.
We've actually missed it about a mile ago.
Oh no! Sorry, I got into talking. I am the worst. I'm from here.
We've got time. That's fine. We just know at some point we have to do a U-turn.
Anytime you want, we're good.
So I was never into doing it at all, ever. And being a musician, everyone's like, "Oh, you must be doing drugs." I used to tell people this in the late '90s. It was a joke. I used to tell people that being a band teacher was great cover for selling drugs to school kids.
Oh my gosh.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Right.
And then I started coming, I'm like, you know what? Someone turned this into a TV show and it ended up being Breaking Bad, and this was my idea. Right? This was my idea. I could have been filthy freaking rich, but no. I don't do anything. I just have some funny little joke that I tell people, and then,
See, and people would expect it out of you, and on the flip side,
right.
I'm the mom who volunteers at school. I'm the snack mom for every single baseball. Oh my gosh. Well, it depends on which moms are also sitting on the bleachers. If they're the judgy ones that are like gonna be like, I can't believe she gave them Gushers, maybe I'll throw in a little something healthy too. But
right.
No, but honestly, like I am the stigma and stereotype is just it's really ridiculous if you knew how many people actually partake. I can't tell you at Leg Hall, the most people who like stop me and randomly thank me are police officers telling me how much it's helped their spouse or helped their whatever, and it's like,
that's cool.
I don't know. I think the days of thinking people who use cannabis are druggies is over.
Can we blame this all on the 1936 movie Reefer Madness?
We totally can. And don't listen to anybody who still calls it reefer. Or dope.
Dope.
It's not dope. Dope is heroin.
Oh my gosh. So I've never been into it. Never done it. But I got to this point where I'm like, you know what? I don't care if other people do. Just, my deal was always this: just don't force it on my kids. That's all. Agreed.
One of the things, we actually had a legalization bill here in Delaware, and while I'm for medical marijuana and legalization, quite frankly, if done right, I actually spoke in opposition to it because, one, I didn't like the corruption that was mixed into it. Two, I didn't like, there's zero free market. It was really just terrible the way they were legalizing in the name of really taxing completely and over-regulating, still keeping people criminals, quite frankly. And also, three, it did nothing to preserve the culture of Delaware. I never want to be driving down the street and see like billboards with pot leaves on them.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yes, but I got to this point where I'm like, you know what? I'm a gun guy and worked myself into becoming an advocate somehow, and I want people to be free. I want you to do what you want to do, and you do what you want to do, and don't force it on me, and I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm not going to force it on you. I tell all my non-gun friends, I think everyone should have a gun. I'm not going to make you do it. But I think it's
everyone should have the option to, the freedom to.
Yes, and that's where it comes down to.
That's how I feel about medical marijuana.
If you want to do this, rock on, knock yourself out. That's what you're into. That's cool.
I feel the same way.
Waffle House.
Yeah. You're welcome for the tour.
I know, right?
Of Delaware.
Scenic Dover. Oh, we have a Tractor Supply Company.
Yes.
To me, it comes down to it's a freedom issue. If you want to do it, knock yourself out.
Exactly.
That's cool. It doesn't bother me. It's not going to affect my life.
But why would we use that as a reason to take away someone's rights who's a law-abiding citizen?
Yes.
And a contributing member to society, too.
Yeah.
Why would we take away their right to defend themselves?
It's a couple years ago, I was emceeing a concealed carry fashion show in Massachusetts, and I was telling people, hey, I'm emceeing this fashion show, and it's, they're going to be hanging out, and there's going to be some food, there's, we're going to be having some drinks, having a good time, and they're like, whoa, drugs and, alcohol and guns shouldn't mix.
No one's talking about drinking and shooting at the same time.
Right.
No one's talking about smoking a doobie at the range.
Right. So that's where I'm like, wait a second. This is ridiculous. You're telling me that if I enjoy having a Jack on the rocks, that I'm not a responsible person, and that I can't have a gun because I enjoy drinking? Like, do you think we're going to get? Do you think we're going to get smashed and go to the range?
Right.
Like this is the group of the most responsible people.
Yes.
Where my line isn't just law abiding. My line is law abiding. Here you go, John Anderson. Law abiding background check passing. I go through background checks for my gun license, for my Mass license, for my Utah license, for my New Hampshire license. I go through background checks for my job. Like I need like a fast pass for background checks.
Yeah.
And I'm not any different. So to me, it's kind of a freedom issue. So if you want to do it, knock yourself out. That's cool.
Yeah, I think to make someone, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who live in fear because they're breaking one of two laws. And, I just don't, most of the veterans I know
we're going to live a little while here.
won't get a card and get that safe access because they don't want to give up their right to bear arms. So now all that's doing is it's not stopping anyone from doing both. You're now making them have to go by on the street. You're putting someone in an unsafe situation.
One of my gurus said, so if with marijuana being legal in Massachusetts, and you can have a
I forget license. Massachusetts. Yeah.
You can have a permit for medicinal marijuana in Massachusetts. I think you can have it recreationally as well. And you can't have a gun license. And so a friend of mine, who I have an unbelievable amount of respect for, says, he was doing a talk a year or so ago, and he says, so if somebody wants to have some recreational marijuana and they want to have their gun license, what do they do? And my friend's like, do what you've been doing, buy it from your neighbor. That's
true, but what about the people who don't know anybody else?
Yeah.
When I first got here, I didn't know anybody. I was literally getting it from someone out of state.
Oh my gosh. That's got to be even more illegal, right?
It is!
Right, you're shipping it to someone?
But I was, I did everything I could to follow the law to the point of changing the law.
Which is cool.
Yeah, but...
So I was thinking of this. I wanted to ask you this. What about when someone says, well, you can have your medicinal marijuana card, but you still have the right to bear arms. You can have pepper spray. Does this like... Okay. You can have pepper spray. You can have a knife. You can use a taser. You can have other means to protect yourself.
Oh, come on. The Second Amendment doesn't say.
You can have a taser? They didn't even have electricity.
I know. Yeah. I mean, honestly, especially as a petite woman who's been in a few situations in my lifetime.
Sure. Look, let's face it. A gun's a great equalizer.
It really is.
Absolutely.
It really is. And you're going to take my right to bear arms away all because instead of sometimes to sleep, I want to take a little THC capsule that literally looks like a fish oil. Instead of something that's addictive that the VA wants to give me, you're going to take away my right to bear arms. And oh, by the way, I have trouble sleeping from all the bodies of my own brothers and sisters I shipped home while I was deployed, fighting for those rights that you want to take away from me. I don't think so. No, not happening. It's an insult. I am a good person. I am a safe person. I'm responsible, and I fought for those rights, and nobody's taking them away from me.
Awesome.
And so I held out a long time not buying a gun waiting for SB 79 to pass. But then Corona came and shut down Leg Hall. And then I was in a situation where I was actually threatened by someone with a gun, and I was unarmed. And I was unarmed because I was trying to follow the law.
Right.
And it put me in a position where my life was in danger, and that's never happening again. I will never allow that to happen again. So I don't care who hears this. I am keeping my guns and my cannabis too. And nobody's going to stop me. And that's that.
Awesome. Rock out.
So that's it.
I knew I should have come to your house last night. Let's talk about the DC project, because we would be remiss.
I love DC Project. Okay, DC Project. Sorry, go on. I get a little excited.
Please, I just want to tease people off on their topics.
So the DC Project, anyone who wants to look them up, put it in Google, put it in Facebook, DC Project.
We'll put some links, of course.
Yes.
I've had, oh my gosh, I love saying this about my gig. I've now had Miss Delaware in the car. I've had Miss New York. I've had Miss Connecticut. I've had Miss Ohio.
Oh, you had Holly. She's fun.
She is a lot of fun.
She is fun. I love her.
She's fun. I've had,
I love Miss Ohio, too.
Miss Ohio, Amanda Suffolkole.
Love her.
I've had 3 of the gals from Illinois.
Uh-huh.
I've had.
Have you had, Rhonda?
I've had Rhonda. Rhonda is my favorite travel partner.
I love her. We were stomping all over Capitol Hill together, her
That's
and I.
awesome.
I love her.
She, I filmed a show this summer. I have some family south of Illinois, and I had to go home for some personal stuff, and I was going to do a show in Milwaukee. So I texted Rhonda. I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a show with Argo J. Do you want to come with? And she's like, here's my address. Come pick me up.
I love her. She is just awesome.
She's awesome. I've had Cheryl Todd on the show. Anyway, so
Cheryl.
I've had Diana Muller in DC, of course.
Of course, obviously we love. Yes.
And Kelly Pigeon and
love her too. You're naming off all my favorites.
This is what I do. This is why all the chicks love hanging out with Charlie.
You're fun. You're a lot of fun. Okay, so the DC Project.
Yes.
So I'm the Delaware delegate, and so that there's one delegate from every state. So 50 women from 50 states. We all go to DC once a year for a week in the name of the Second Amendment. So we're there to say, you know, I'm a woman, and this is why I want to preserve our rights. And we all have a different reason. So mine is, you know, I'm a medical marijuana patient, but I also want to keep my Second Amendment rights. Mm-hmm. We have, so Rhonda, she's awesome. She is in Chicago, and she was there to say, hey, we need to be allowed ranges within city limits for people. Yes, for people in order to train and be safe. And she won not one but 2 superior court cases.
Love it.
Yes, love it. We also have some really tough to hear stories, but sorry, this is the reality of it, and you need to hear it. One woman, she was on a college campus, the only place she didn't carry her gun, a gun-free zone, and she was raped by a serial rapist who went on to rape more women before he got caught.
This is in Florida.
Yes, we have Florida, and then Virginia, and then also there's a few. And then another friend of mine, she is from Tennessee. She's the Tennessee delegate for DC
Nikki.
Project, Nikki, and she didn't carry her gun at the time, only in places that were gun-free zones. So that was a restaurant.
Yep.
So she was in a restaurant with her husband, and she had a stalker who she had a restraining order against. But restraining orders don't stop stalkers.
Piece of paper is...
That does nothing to protect you.
Yeah.
And so her stalker came into the restaurant and shot her husband 6 times and killed him.
They put his gun away and then walked out. She's got a couple books about this.
Yes, she does. And so it's just all these women are there to tell our story. Hi, I'm a woman. I'm not the gun nut that everyone wants to paint Second Amendment supporters as. Mm-hmm. We're mothers, we're aunts, we're sisters, we're grandmothers, and you know, there's gun shop owners, and there's advocates, and there's, you know, people who I think there's like shooting competitions, like I don't know if it's gold medalists, competitive shooters, just, you know, some of the nation's best, and just a whole different array of women coming together. There's one woman whose son was shot and killed by someone who was unauthorized to have a gun, And
well, we need stricter gun laws so people can't get guns
stopped
illegally.
anything, right? Right. So the DC Project is honestly women who are some of the most inspiring women I've ever met in my life. When Congress needs people, when they need to call on and they want a female voice to come speak in the name of the Second Amendment, they call the DC Project.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Diana's doing awesome stuff.
She's amazing.
She is.
She's amazing. Yeah.
All right, we are where we need to be.
Yes, we found shooters. I'm so sorry. I'm the worst Delawarean ever.
Right.
I told you I only go up north and down south all the time.
It's a small state. Come on.
No,
it's the smallest state, isn't it?
Well, there's actually a club here, a women's club that meets here that I'm going to be meeting up with.
Oh,
and
very cool. Is
yeah.
it is it the Well-Armed Woman or
the Well-Armed Women? I meet north and south. Although there's rumors one might be starting here, a chapter.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say that.
Okay.
But I did. And then also there's Locked and Loaded Women is a gun group.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a gun group that I want to meet up with. I know some of the women, and we've been like rallying to fight some legislation, some anti-gun legislation coming our way. And so yeah, I want to come to their group and shoot with them and meet with them. Awesome. And they're all instructors. I learned so much from them.
That's cool. Yeah. All right, how can people find you and all of the stuff that you're doing? I can put a lot of links, it's fine. Yeah, just put my Facebook page. Honestly, it's not terrible. I really should get my stuff together more. You got a website? I do, but it's just my campaign website. But I can update that. So Kim Petters, 2 T's, Petters. If there's anyone who hears this and they're like, can I say this? Yeah. And there's anyone in any state who is like, hey, I want to make it so medical marijuana patients can get their gun rights back, reach out to me. I can tell you exactly how to do it. It's actually not hard. You just need a good team that's dedicated, and you really don't even need a budget, if I'm being honest. You can do this. Anyone can do this. We the people can change unjust and unconstitutional laws. We the people. Yeah. Nice. I'll help anyone do it. I'll walk their hand through it. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, thank you very much. This has been a pleasure. We can shake hands because we sanitize. Yes, we really did. The rest of you guys, I want to thank you guys for watching Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Please make sure you check out the Self-Defense Radio Network, sdrn.us is the website. It's all of your pro-freedom podcasts in one place, and it's growing, which is really cool. You can check out all the Riding Shotgun shows on YouTube, on Gunstreamer, on the OpsLens app. You can listen to the show on, oh my God, Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on iHeartRadio. I know some other places put it out as well. And I appreciate it if you share the show. If you like the show, you subscribe to the channel, listen to the show, share it with all your folks. This is how we get the stagecoach across America. And thank you so much for being on the show. This is so much fun. Thanks for having me. This is great. Yeah, this is what it's about. It's about, to me, my little show is about going around and meeting people and increasing my circle of friends. So that I can walk into your house and you're like, oh my God, we've met, haven't we? Yeah. You can come to my house anytime. You're more than welcome. All right. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks a lot. Bye. Thank you for having me. Easy.